welcome. A massive, energetic, and incredibly warm welcome to you. We're absolutely thrilled to have you with us today.
Yes, welcome everyone. The energy is just, well, it's fantastic today, and I am so ready to jump right into this with you.
I mean, I have been laughing to myself literally all morning, just picturing the absolute chaos we're talking about today.
Oh no, what are you picturing?
Okay, so picture this, right?
Yeah.
You are standing in a crowded airport, you're sweating, you're totally red in the face, and you're desperately trying to stuff this absolutely massive oversized bag into a tiny airplane overhead bin.
Oh, the classic overhead bin struggle. It is the worst.
It really is. You're jumping up and down, you are pushing it with your shoulder, and the entire plane is just, sitting there watching you in dead silence.
It is the ultimate nightmare. Or, okay, picture trying to navigate a brand new city before we all had smartphones.
Oh, wow. Yeah, paper maps.
Exactly. The wind is howling, and you are trying to unfold this enormous paper map. You're turning it left, you're turning it right, arguing with your friend about which way is north.
Because nobody actually knows which way is north.
Right. And finally, a stranger taps your shoulder just to point out that you have been holding the map completely upside down the entire time.
We have all been there. I mean, it is hilarious looking back, but in the moment, it is incredibly stressful.
Oh, absolutely.
And that actually brings us to the core question we want to ask you, the listener, today. Have you ever noticed how a simple vacation can completely shatter how you view a friend or a partner?
Oh, this is such a good question.
Right. Like, you think you know someone perfectly, you go on just a one-week trip with them, and you come back looking at them like they are a complete stranger.
It's so true. You leave the house as absolute best friends, and by the time you're back at the baggage claim, you're standing 20 feet apart.
Just pretending you do not know each other.
Totally avoiding eye contact.
Exactly. So today, we are doing a deep dive into an article that explores exactly why traveling is the ultimate psychological litmus test for human character. Okay, let's unpack this.
I love that. Let's do it.
Because leaving the safety of your familiar hometown and entering the unpredictable chaos of a foreign country, well, it is not just a change in geography. It is a massive psychological and biological shock to the system.
It really, really is. To understand why people change so drastically on a trip, we have to look at the contrast between everyday life and travel.
Right, the day-to-day versus the vacation.
Exactly. In our daily lives, we spend most of our time operating in what psychologists call a low-friction environment.
Low friction, meaning it's just easy.
Yeah, it's easy. We meet a friend for coffee at the local shop, we sit in a beautiful, quiet restaurant, or we go to the cinema. In those environments, your brain is essentially on autopilot.
Right, because nothing is challenging your baseline reality.
Precisely.
When you are just, grabbing a coffee for an hour, it requires very little energy to be polite, to smile, and to just listen. I actually like to compare our daily social lives to a movie trailer.
Oh, a movie trailer. How so?
Well, think about it. A movie trailer only shows the absolute best, most exciting, most polished scenes, right?
Yeah. Ah, I see what you mean.
That is exactly how we act at home. We maintain this polite social mask because it basically costs us nothing to show our friends our best scenes.
That is a great analogy.
Thanks. But here's my question for you. Why does leaving home specifically strip away that polite social mask?
Well, what's fascinating here is that maintaining that polite social mask actually requires cognitive energy. It is not free.
Wait, really? Just being nice takes energy?
It absolutely does. When you are at home, your brain has plenty of energy to spare. But travel completely destroys that cognitive surplus.
Because of all the chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You imagine your vacation will be this peaceful thing on a beach, but the reality is a chaotic mix of delayed flights, lost luggage, language barriers, and, those confusing upside-down maps we joked about earlier.
Right, the upside-down maps.
The environment suddenly demands massive amounts of mental processing power just to navigate basic survival tasks.
Wow, okay. So when the brain is exhausted from trying to, say, figure out a foreign train schedule in another language, it literally drops the heavy social mask to save energy.
Yes. It just cannot keep the mask up anymore.
And that is the exact moment when a person begins to show one's true colors. And this is actually the first key phrase we really want to highlight for you today, to show one's true colors.
To show one's true colors, it is a very powerful phrase in English.
It really is.
It means to reveal your real character, your hidden tendencies, or your true personality, especially when it is bad or unpleasant.
Like when the mask comes off.
Exactly. For example, imagine that really generous, calm friend from the coffee shop we talked about.
Right, the one who is always so nice.
Yeah. The moment your flight gets completely canceled, if they suddenly start shouting at the airport staff and becoming super aggressive,
Yeah.
they are showing their true colors. Travel strips away the energy needed for that social politeness and forces individuals to react to reality completely nakedly.
Which means the person you see in the airport terminal yelling at the gate agent is actually the real version of your friend, not the polished version you see at the coffee shop.
Unfortunately, yes.
Man, that is intense. And this brings us to the biological mechanics of this behavioral shift. Because once the mask slips, the reactions can be, well, incredibly intense.
Oh, for sure. We have to look at what is actually happening inside the human nervous system.
Let's get into the biology of it.
From a biological perspective, traveling takes our body and places it in a state of high alert.
High alert, like we are in danger.
Basically, yes. You are out of your normal routine, which means your brain's threat detection center, the amygdala, is scanning for danger constantly.
So you are basically operating under pressure, which, by the way, is our second major phrase to focus on today. Under pressure.
Under pressure, a classic phrase.
When we say someone is under pressure, it means they are facing a difficult, highly stressful situation that requires a huge amount of mental or physical effort just to survive.
And think about the physical reality of being under pressure while traveling. It's intense.
Oh, I mean, your circadian rhythms are completely disrupted from crossing time zones.
Yes, jet lag is brutal. You are likely suffering from sleep deprivation.
And hunger. Your blood sugar is dropping because you cannot find a restaurant that is open.
And you are lost in a foreign city where you cannot even read the street signs. The prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain responsible for logical thinking and emotional regulation, is essentially running on empty.
That makes so much sense. So that physical exhaustion doesn't just make your feet hurt, it completely drains your ability to regulate your emotions.
Precisely.
Which perfectly explains why people handle that pressure so poorly sometimes. Like, let's say you arrive at your hotel, you are tired, you are hungry, and a receptionist says your room will not be ready for another 2 hours.
The worst feeling.
Right. At home, that is just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
But an emotionally unstable companion, whose brain is already just depleted, might completely snap.
They really might.
They might suddenly lose one's cool. And we really need to heavily emphasize this phrase for you today, to lose one's cool.
To lose one's cool, it is such a common thing to see, sadly.
What does it exactly mean in this context?
It means to suddenly become very angry, panicked, or to completely lose control of your emotions in a difficult situation.
So not just being a little annoyed.
No, way beyond that. Instead of simply sitting in the lobby, maybe reading a book and waiting, the person who loses their cool might start crying, yelling at the staff, or just completely ruining the entire afternoon over a minor delay.
Because their exhausted brain has interpreted a 2-hour wait not as a small annoyance, but as an actual severe threat.
Exactly. The brain is in survival mode.
You know, I have to say, watching an adult lose their cool over a 2-hour hotel delay is a massive red flag.
No, a huge red flag.
It proves that they lack the underlying coping mechanisms to handle the normal, unpredictable friction of life. Because, I mean, life is full of minor delays and tiny disappointments.
That is just reality.
Right. If their emotional regulation system completely collapses over a hotel room, how on earth are they going to handle real-life challenges? Like buying a house, navigating a career change, or dealing with a medical emergency.
It's so true. The way someone handles a lost suitcase tells you a tremendous amount about how they will handle a lost job.
Wow, that is a powerful way to look at it.
It just reveals their baseline emotional maturity. But, this deep dive isn't just about analyzing meltdowns and bad behavior.
Thank goodness, because that would be depressing.
Right. Travel also reveals the absolute best in people. It shows us incredible green flags.
I love that. Let's look at the antidote to all this stress then. Because when things inevitably go wrong, when the train leaves without you, or the museum you wanted to see is suddenly closed, how does a person treat you?
That is the million-dollar question.
Do they look at you and immediately assign blame? Or do they just laugh, take a deep breath, and start looking for a creative solution?
The people who laugh and look for a solution, they possess a truly beautiful psychological trait. They have the ability to go with the flow.
To go with the flow.
Yes. This is our next key phrase, and it represents a really profound level of emotional regulation. To go with the flow.
I use that phrase all the time.
It's a great one. It simply means to be relaxed and accept a situation as it happens, adapting to changes smoothly without getting upset or complaining.
To go with the flow. It is such a descriptive visual phrase. But let me push back on this concept for just a second.
Okay, go for it.
Sometimes I worry that going with the flow just means a person doesn't actually care about the trek.
Oh, interesting. Like they're just uninvested.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we missed the flight, whatever.
Yeah.
The museum is closed, I don't care. Is going with the flow just a polite way of describing apathy, or is it something deeper than that?
Oh, that is a crucial distinction to make. It is absolutely not about apathy or a lack of investment.
Okay, so what is the difference?
True adaptability is about emotional resilience. The person who goes with the flow deeply wanted to see that museum. They really did. But when they find out it is closed, they possess the cognitive flexibility to accept the new reality instantly.
I see. So they just don't fight reality.
Exactly. They don't waste precious energy being angry at a locked door. Instead, they view obstacles as funny adventures. They just pivot smoothly to a new plan.
That flexibility of the mind is so critical, especially because traveling is essentially this grueling marathon of constant decision-making.
The decisions. Yes. If we connect this to the bigger picture of cognitive load, I want you to think about a normal Tuesday at home.
Okay, a normal Tuesday.
You make very few new decisions. You eat the exact same breakfast. You drive the exact same route to work. Your brain is resting.
Autopilot, like you said before.
Exactly. But on a trip, you're making 50 novel choices a day.
Yeah, at least 50.
Right. Where should we eat? How much money should we spend? Should we walk or take the bus? What time should we wake up?
It is exhausting. Every single action requires a negotiation with your travel partner.
It really does.
And that actually brings us to another major hurdle, and our final key phrase for today: to see eye to eye.
Ah, yes.
I want to highlight this one very clearly. To see eye to eye, it means to agree with someone completely or to have the exact same opinion about a matter.
Navigating 50 decisions a day is exhausting on its own. But if you and your companion do not see eye to eye on those choices, the trip can become an absolute nightmare.
A total disaster.
Because not seeing eye to eye exposes fundamental differences in your core values.
Imagine traveling with someone where you see eye to eye on absolutely nothing.
That sounds miserable.
It is. Like you want to wake up at 6 a.m. to explore the city and they want to sleep until noon. You want to save money and eat cheap, delicious street food, and they want to spend hundreds of dollars at a luxury restaurant every night.
You are constantly clashing, which of course drains whatever energy you have left.
Exactly. Because you are spending your entire vacation negotiating your basic values.
But when you do see eye to eye on your travel style, or when you are at least willing to compromise gracefully, you completely eliminate that friction.
It changes everything.
It really does. The travel experience stops being a battle and becomes incredibly bonding.
So what does this all mean for us? When we look at the biology of stress, the cognitive load of decision-making, and the shedding of the social mask, we arrive at a really beautiful conclusion.
We really do.
Traveling isn't just about taking pictures of new buildings or trying exotic foods. It is a deep psychological journey into human behavior.
It forces us out of that comfortable coffee shop. It forces us to face discomfort, fatigue, and compromise in real time.
And if you can travel across the world with someone, if you can get hopelessly lost in a massive rainstorm with broken umbrellas, if you can eat a terrible meal, miss your train connection, and still sit down on your hotel beds at the end of the day and just laugh together about how crazy it all was.
That is the dream.
Well, you haven't just had a good vacation. You have found a true friend or a true partner.
That shared resilience is the real souvenir of the trip. It is the deep, undeniable knowledge of who the other person truly is when the pressure is on.
We have covered a lot of fascinating psychological ground today, and we want to make sure you walk away from this deep dive feeling really confident with the concepts we discussed.
Definitely.
So let us deliberately slow down for a moment. We're going to do a very clear, structured review of the 5 key phrases we explored today, almost like a psychological toolkit for your next trip.
It is the perfect way to lock in these behavioral concepts for you.
I will read the phrase, and you give us a quick, clear summary of the meaning. Ready?
Ready. Let's do it.
Let us start with number 1, to show one's true colors.
To show one's true colors means to reveal your real, previously hidden personality, especially when it is unpleasant, usually after your polite social mask has slipped away.
Spot on. Okay. Number 2, under pressure.
Under pressure means experiencing high stress, difficulty, or urgency that heavily tests your mental strength and patience.
Number 3, to lose one's cool.
To lose one's cool is to suddenly lose your emotional control and become very angry or panicked during a difficult situation.
Awesome. Number 4, which is the positive antidote, to go with the flow.
To go with the flow means to adapt smoothly to changing situations, remaining relaxed and flexible without complaining.
And finally, number 5, to see eye to eye.
To see eye to eye means to completely agree with someone, sharing the exact same opinion on a topic or core value.
That is a fantastic review. These phrases are incredibly useful, not just for analyzing travel companions, but for understanding relationships, workplace dynamics, and human behavior in general.
Absolutely. And before we end our deep dive, I want to leave you, our listener, with one final provocative thought to mull over.
Ooh, I love a good final thought.
We have spent all this time talking about how travel and stress reveal the truth about other people. We talked about watching our friends and partners to see if they lose their cool or go with the flow.
Right, looking outward.
But the next time your flight is delayed or your luggage is completely lost in a foreign country, what will your reaction reveal about you?
Oh, wow. That turns the mirror right back on us.
It sure does.
That is a brilliant question and something very important to think about the next time we all pack our bags. Thank you all so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been wonderful.
It really has been an absolute joy sharing this time with you. Trust the journey, keep laughing when things go wrong, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone. Safe travels.